Hey, 5 years. That's amazing. We're so glad to have you guys here. I can't believe all you get up on time. I always think artists get up and they're like here at 1. Thanks for being here. So this year, we're talking about a lot of things. Art, place, dislocation in the 21st century. I think one of the things that's interesting about this question of gentrification, that's one of these buzzwords, was I ran into my friend Kip in Williamsburg, and he said the funniest thing to me. He said, you know, I've lived in Williamsburg for 15 years, and I talk about gentrification 3 times a day since I moved here, and it never gets boring. So it's kind of one of these interesting words that both evokes kind of a yawn, which is like that question again, and then kind of discomfort because everyone's like, and I still can't really articulate things about it very well, and like we haven't really got anywhere. There's this kind of, it produces a lot of things. But it's really important because not only does it touch upon artists' lives, but I think also in this world of socially engaged art and kind of new forms of urbanism and ideas of placemaking, it touches upon a soft spot that is really important for us to reckon with, which is race, which is class, which is the right to the city, which is the ways in which culture is producing urbanism, but the ways in which urbanism is producing culture. The movement of right to the city, not only in terms of the political group, but also dating back to the Henri Lefebvre and the idea of a politics based in place, is not only important to places like New York, but is in fact, even in the World Social Forum, one of the core binding ideas about global justice. So if it's hard for us to untangle, it's because we're dealing with some big issues. But it's an important set of concerns. And I think, last night we had a bunch of artists and curators who are grappling with socially engaged art and producing new infrastructural questions on how to make more space for artists to work in these complicated ways. And one of the questions was, who is this work for? Who is the audience? Who are we making work for? And I think one of those things that we're all touching upon is there's questions of race there. There's also questions of vast economic inequities and our own incapacity as individuals to bridge those without building a community. That's what this is for us to talk about. Another kind of subject that we're really trying to delve into is this language around placemaking. You've probably heard it, or creative economies. Sometimes in my more cynical modes, I think of things as this kind of new neoliberal capitalist gloss over cultural production. But in my more forgiving modes, I think of cities realizing that culture has a place in the way their metropolises can be produced, and there's opportunities for us to build coalitions that inject ideas of social justice, of radical creativity. That word creativity, I'm always kind of, I don't know. I hate the word innovation, sorry. I like words that are kind of more, give artists that kind of imaginative oomph. That is the thing that got us all into this in the first place. But I think there's a way, an opportunity for people in this room, because people are coming from different places, to really make this thing possible. And we really are encouraging that to happen this year. So we have people from a lot of different cross-sections, not just arts, but policymakers, urbanists, mayors, radical anarcho-artists, social justice organizations. This cross-section speaks different languages, but is also, I think, really, in the end, interested in the way culture and equity can play out in the urban metropolis. So thanks for coming out. I know, I had a lot of coffee. I normally like this, too. Thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. Really appreciate it. And please join me in welcoming Mario Barr Jr.